Hello, Nico Mingo, and anyone else that's here. Can you see me and hear me now? Can you hear me now? Thank you so much for waiting and being here. And I'm so happy to be on finally. It's just about 311, one of my favorite bands, 311. And that was the Diagnostic Statistical Manual Medical Code for Depression. I always wondered if they knew that when they picked the name. Was and is. So, Nico, are you still here? Can you just let me know if you can hear me all right now? Yeah, you couldn't see me or hear me because it took me so long to get on. So maybe you went away and had other things to do. Um, I am. I'm in your chat but cannot see or hear you. Nico just texted me. So let me respond with now. Because yeah, there you are. I'm texting you as you're putting that message up. Hey Sherry, lovely to see you both. Thanks so much for coming in, you guys. I hope you had a good weekend. It was a really weird weekend for me with that mind-boggling Friday with the Helena Hutchins trial. So I would like to talk about that because I'd like to explain my perspective. I think I'm right. I think I'm correct. I think I'm accurate. I am not a lawyer, but I've worked in the courts and I've seen a lot. And I think that I agree with Kari Morrisey 100%. I think I agree with Gloria Allred 100%. And I think those two are extremely top-notch attorneys. I don't have any respect for that judge. And I'll tell you, when I worked in the court, I saw a lot of misogyny from women in positions of power because when you're playing hardball and you're a female and you're in a man's world, you are never going to get anywhere if you're not more of a DICK than all the dudes around you. I'm just saying it like it is because that's what I learned. Let me do my little disclaimer. I hope that everybody's doing great. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of starting a conversation, hoping to open up a discussion and learn something and be educational. Everything that I say is simply my opinion, and my videos are all made for YouTube. It's an entertainment platform. I'm so happy to be on live today. Hey, Mark, I was just catching up on all your stuff, dude. I think I'm all caught up. Good work. I wanted to talk about that too. The white t-shirts. You guys, do you know? Okay, I think there's a lot more going on in the Bahamas with Taylor Casey that's extremely similar to what was going on in Truckee with Kylie. So part of it, these people in these groups, we'll just call them, they wear a lot of white. And when they wear white, it's signaling a victory. So sometimes they wear all red, sometimes they wear all black, and that's not just like the Crips and the Bloods. That's a thing with these communities. So I hadn't really thought about that with the white t-shirts, or at least if I have, it's been so long that I can't remember. That those white t-shirts, and they used red pens on some of them. They used black Sharpies on others. So again, the black, the red, and the white. And I know that that can sound really, hokey, but it's true. They do the thing with the colors. It's no political comments on your channel, right? Thank you, Nico, for the reminder. I was going to talk about the shooting in general, hopefully without getting political at all, and that might be too dangerous, but I just want to say the security detail left a lot to be desired. Like, that's an understatement of all understatements. And the law enforcement in general at that location, hideous. Like, allegedly a cop climbed up and saw the shooter on the roof before he started shooting, and then the kid like pointed the gun at him, so he ran away. Tell me that's not true. Anyway, I only wanted to address those things. I really want to try to just stay out of it because you know how that can turn into a totally different thing, and I want to stay focused on true crime. I want to stay focused on Kylie Rodney. I want to stay focused on Taylor Casey, and I want to stay focused on Helena Hutchins, and of course Micah Miller. Those are my main focal points right now, and I hope that people in the chat, or if you're watching on the replay crew, I hope you don't mind if I jump around, because I know some of my viewers really like it that I do that, and I would imagine that for some people that they might not say so, but it might be annoying. And if it is, I apologize. You can let me know. But I'll probably still do it anyway because that's just how my brain works. So we've got Mark and Sherry and Nico and Fred. Lovely to see you all. Hola, hola, hola. So nice to see you. So yeah, I've just been like dying to get on since Friday. That was really hard coming on live Friday. If you watched that video, if you haven't yet, oh man, I'm practically crying in my beer. I mean, I don't even drink beer. I'm like crying in my water. I'm so somber. I'm so depressed in that video. It's pretty sad, but I'm just glad that I came on live anyway, because I honestly felt like giving up completely, like not just for the day, but in general. I was like, there's no justice. There's no point to this. There's no point to true crime, justice seeking, blah, blah, blah. Like we're not getting anywhere. It's never going to happen. But I have a lot of hope. I do. I had the weekend to process it. I'm delighted that I came on live. I'm delighted that people were in the chat and people watched my video and made great comments. And thank you guys for that. It's very, very helpful when you guys make comments, whether it's in the chat or on the replay crew. Please hit that like button. Make sure you're still subscribed, share, turn on your notification bell to ring. And let's get into it. So, the thing with the court can go either way. Usually that's because of a juror. That can also be due to the judge. And I've seen a lot of judges let a lot of things slide that they should have never let slide. For instance, in this case with the Alec Baldwin, Helena Hutchins trial, when the Alec Baldwin defense team made the motion to eliminate the fact that he was one of the main producers on the movie, to leave that out of the trial, that was crazy. Like, that's so entirely relevant. So right up front, that told me that she was being persuaded to go with that side. But where I feel really hopeful over the weekend is remembering back when this happened. And most of us didn't believe that charges would ever be filed against the movie star, the A-lister. And man, have I found out more about his career and more about his father's career. Okay, his dad was not just a rifle shooting coach for the high school that he taught history at for 28 years, right outside of Amityville. So Alec Baldwin was born in Amityville, and then he was raised one town over, Massapequa, Massapequa. So pretty small towns. And the Baldwins, there were 6 of them. Alec is the second to the oldest. He's the oldest boy. And they were bad boys known all over the island. And the rifle coach, the shooting coach for their high school team sport, which, I've never heard of that, but that's cool as long as people are playing safe. However, it seems that he passed away at the age of like 53 or 55, pretty young, from inhaling all of the lead with the gunpowder. So he died of lung cancer, but it didn't say that he was a smoker. It said basically that they suspected that that's what it was from. Troy Teskey. Okay. So All of these notes. I'm looking for the age of when his dad died. It, his mother died May of 2022 at the age of 92. The father, Alexander Ray Baldwin, died in 1983. His date of birth, 10/26/27, deceased 4/15/83. So I think Alec was like 19, if I'm doing my math right. Don't ask me to do math. I'm trying to juggle too many balls in my head at the moment. Lots to cover. So my point is that the lead is what allegedly is believed to have taken Alec's father's life at a pretty young age. That's pretty tragic. However, before my point about the rifle shooting 28-year coaching is that Alec grew up around uh, these types of firearms, and he's going to know safety like the back of his hand, inside out. Also, his father was a sharp shooter for the freaking Marines, you guys, before he became a history teacher and the rifle shooting coach. Sharp shooter for the Marines, Mr. Baldwin. Why didn't you mention that during the trial? Interesting to me, in my opinion. Anna Bees, hello. Money Talks, the guilty walk. There you go, Sherry. I agree, but probably due to the Chargers. There's no reason Hannah went first. There is reason Hannah went first. Well, they're going to have to overturn her conviction with what they did on Friday. But let me just say this, you guys, because the whole world of the courts, none of us know the rules unless we're lawyers or judges. Or I'm not a lawyer, but I played one on TV once. I mean, I worked in the courts and people thought that I was an attorney because I acted like an attorney. I spoke like an attorney, but I was a mental health expert with the crisis and commitment team. And also I worked in the family courts. So I worked as a licensed mental health professional. I did not work as a court expert, but I was considered an expert. Okay. I was considered by everyone in the Seattle area and beyond. I mean, people would hire me as an expert from out of state even. So let me get back to my point. You can sue a freaking judge, not just you, not just me, anybody. Anybody can sue a judge. You can sue anybody you want. You're going to have a good case or it'll get thrown out or easily dismissed or just be a waste of your time and money. But I never knew you could sue a judge until I worked in the courts. So it's been done. People have sued judges. And I believe that that's what Kari Morrisey needs to do to save her reputation and her career and justice in general. I think that judge was shady AF. She dismissed the jury at the beginning of the day. And in my opinion, she spent the rest of the day looking at how she could tear this case apart. And it seemed to me, in hindsight, that she got really excited when she saw what she could hang her hat on, because prior to that, she thought she was going to have to wait until Monday or Tuesday. So I saw that coming across the Brooklyn Bridge throughout the day on Friday. I thought, oh man, she's plotting and she's going to throw this thing out after the weekend. And I was thinking at least the defendant will get to like sweat bullets and, have bricks come out of the other side of him over the weekend, because I didn't think that there'd be any justice beyond that. But we do know that Gloria Allred is representing Helena Hutchins' family for the civil trial. And Gloria Allred is brilliant. She does not lose cases. So, and could they make it any worse with Hannah, hilarious? I think it's best to call her hilarious. Her name is Hillary. She's like faux Spanish. She's a poser. She did grow up in Spain, but she was born in Massachusetts. She's from Massachusetts. She was living in New York City as a yoga teacher when she was 27 and met Alec Baldwin movie star Moneybags. Oh, but she wasn't just a yoga teacher. She had a podcast. Well, wait, don't I have a podcast and aren't I a yoga teacher? So aren't I fancy? Oh, but she was, she owned a franchise of yoga studios. I don't care. You're not going to get rich owning a yoga studio, period. It's not, if that's why you're in it, get out because it's not going to happen. Anyway, interesting that yoga plays a part in that case, and then yoga plays a part in the Taylor Casey, of course, but we'll get there. Yeah, okay, jumping all around town. So I still can't remember who Sarah Zachary, the prop master, was engaged to be married to, and she hired his sister to be her other prop assistant. So she had Hannah Gutierrez Reed as a prop assistant and her fiance's sister as a prop assistant. These people all know each other, is my point. And Seth Kinney, snake in the grass. He and Sarah Zachary and even Dave Halls, they all did a really good job of coming off as genuine, in my opinion. Let's see. Did I miss something? I do not see a long comment from you, Nico. It probably didn't go through because if it's too long, it won't go through. It has to be like broken up into like 100 words or something per comment. I just got a text from Nico saying, did you skip my comment on purpose? Why did they give plea deals, period? And he as a director, yeah, one sec. So Nico, try to like divide it up into several chats or just text it to me and I'll read it in a text. That's fine too. Let's see. Replace pinned message. Mr. Mark says, why did they give plea deals, period? And he, as a director, led him to not being controlled. It should be part of the case. Right. He was completely dictating everything, and people were afraid of him. So Nico says, I'm a teacher and would protect students. Okay, so you're talking about the shooting on Saturday in Pennsylvania, because, yeah, I know. There was also a big shooting today in, was it Mississippi? Somewhere in the South. Right as I was coming on live, I saw JLR was covering it. At least 7 unalive already and like 10 wounded. I don't know if that's 10 additional wounded or 10 total wounded, but I'm just like, how unrealistic to always offer thoughts. I'm not sure where you're coming from, Nico. Like I said, if you want to text me your long comment, because if you tried to send it, it just didn't send. Yeah. How unrealistic to always offer thoughts and prayers. Yeah, I understand that. Definitely. T's and P's, I like to call them. T's and P's, everybody. Send your T's and P's. I mean, not that thoughts and prayers aren't helpful, but we need to do more, in my opinion. So the thing with the yoga instruction with Hilaria Baldwin. Oh, let me add this before I forget. I did not know, and you guys know I'm a big Brando fan. Where is he? He's over on this side. Right is left, left is right. Okay, I'm a big Brando fan, right? You all know, if you're of a certain age, where Brando got his start. Stella! A Streetcar Named Desire on Broadway. He busted into the acting profession with that. There's never been another Marlon Brando since Brando. And Hollywood has been on the hunt for another Marlon Brando since Brando. So guess who happened to play Stanley in the Streetcar Named Desire on Broadway and did the same. Stella! Yeah, you guessed it, Mr. Alec Baldwin. I was so disturbed by reading that online over the weekend. I was like, and I can't remember what year he did it, but it wasn't that long ago. But it's just like, to me, so obvious that he's trying to mark himself as a Brando. And I'm sorry, but he's a douchebag. I used to respect him. I thought he was great as the a-hole in Glenn Ross. I thought he was great as the lovable, funny husband in Beetlejuice. There's movies and parts where I thought he did really well, but as soon as this happened with Helena, and then you put together that with all the other stupid things that we know he's done for years, being a jerk to people and especially women, even his own freaking daughter, calling her a little pig when she was 11. And gee, I wonder why she doesn't answer his freaking phone calls. If that's the message that he's going to leave her when she doesn't answer, I wouldn't want to talk to him either. Anyway, the whole thing on the airplane with the words with friends, like, don't make me put my phone away. I have friends and I have words and I'm trying to use them. I mean, the man is a baby. He's a man baby. And he's like throwing a temper tantrum all the time. He threw a temper tantrum in court the day before it was dismissed on Thursday when he walked out, and then he came back with a cup of coffee in his hand. He walked out with attitude, and he walked out when Kari Morrisey was saying some unflattering things about him that were concise, accurate, and true. And he just stormed out of there without even consulting with an attorney. Anyway, I hear rain outside, so I'm like a little distracted by that. I love rain, especially when it's so hot. Even though it's humid, it'll cool things down, and the ground needs it. I used to watch him, but not now. The past several years, yeah. Well, and it just kills me. He was always making fun of the man who got his ear clipped over the weekend, right? He made fun of him on SNL. And that man had said that he's so loved that he could shoot someone in the street, in the middle of the street, in the middle of public, in broad daylight, in front of witnesses, and unalive them, and people would still love him. Do you guys remember when he said that? The one who's campaigning to be on the Republican ticket, or he is on the Republican ticket. And that's exactly what Alec Baldwin did. He shot somebody in broad daylight, in the middle of the day, in front of witnesses. Did you hear that thunder? Ooh, I love it. And people still love him. A lot of people still love him. A lot of people are like, oh, well, he's an actor. He's not accountable. And yeah, he is accountable. He defied the rules of gun handling that are universal and that are specifically in the Screen Actors Guild. I could look it up and read it to you like JLR did, but I won't, because I'll just try to find the JLR video that did that. Might be hard, though. There's a lot of them. Okay. Yeah. So I used to like him up until the day this happened, and I was just like, And then when he went and did the interview with Stephanopoulos, I was just like, you did not, UMF. You did not blame the victim. You did not defy the authorities that said, don't talk about it. And then you had a 2-hour interview. Oh, and we got to get to that fake 2-hour interview with JP Miller that was promised over the weekend. I don't know if that's been released onto the streets of the interweb yet or not, but I doubt it ever will be. It's probably got the 350 pieces of evidence in it, right? But it's behind a paywall. You have to pay like $1 million to watch it. Oh my goodness. And allegedly the channel that he did the 2-hour interview with is not a real channel. It's artificial intelligence, but that's just allegedly. I don't know if it got released overnight or not. That was the promise. Um, promises. Send your TNAs. Okay, you're killing me, Mark. That's hilarious. You didn't even do that on purpose, or did you? Are the A's and the P's? No, you just had a brain fart. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. We all know what TNA is, right? Oh, funny. Anna B says, LOL. I used to watch him, but not now, the past several years. If he was not famous or rich, would he be married asking for a friend? Good one, Mark. I mean, he's doing the feeble old man thing too. He's pulling that card, like the same card that JP's friend, the sprinkler boy, has pulled. Like, I'm just a feeble old man. I don't know nothing. You can't hold me accountable. I'm just like an old fart. But you guys heard more thunder. Oh, I love thunder. I love lightning. I always say, as long as no one gets hurt. So, yeah. So, Hilarious was 27. Mr. Baldwin was almost 54. So, he was almost twice her age. And then they got married a year after they met. And then they've just been pumping out babies ever since. Nonstop with the babies. Although the youngest one is already a year old. And I don't know if maybe they have several surrogates pregnant all at once. Maybe they're doing a Handmaid's Tale thing. Goodness. Nothing would surprise me with these people. And then he tries to pull that card. Well, I'm so busy taking care of my babies. I don't have time to talk to the law enforcement or to go to court because I got babies to take care of. Veronica, girl, what's up? I have been watching everything you've put out. I've watched a lot of your older stuff too, like telling your stories, your own personal history and your family history. So nice to see you. I've just been loving getting to know you via the YouTube. I really do feel like we have like a friends and family kind of thing going. Although, I've seen many YouTubers turn on each other. So I always try to like take it slow and easy. But I get a really good vibe from you. Like you're just down to earth. Your feet are on the ground, just like Mr. Mark. And if we have disagreements, we can have disagreements. Like, that's cool. Like, we don't have to have the same opinion about everything all the time. In fact, that would be unrealistic. Oh my goodness, Mark, it's 105 here. Bring the rain. Yeah, I'm sorry. I would if I could. It's pouring out there. Can you hear it? I am so thrilled. And Veronica says it's here. Oh, it is released. Oh no. Oh no. How much are they charging on that paywall? And I say, oh no, because it's just going to be a show of the brown stuff, the dumpster fire, in my opinion. 2 hours of an interview with JP. I hope he's like singing some songs too. I hope it's a musical. And did you hear the rage of Thor, the god of thunder, just now? As soon as I said that, I honestly think the God is rageful towards people that abuse folks religiously and spiritually, the way J.P. Miller and his father seem to have been doing for a very long time. Ad, stop talking, ad. Justice A to Z, get up with me. I will, absolutely. When are you going live? Just let me know, and I would love to. Oh, it's only $2.60. I still won't pay it. I'll just listen to other people talk about it. I mean, I can't give money to JP. I just can't. But I would love to go live with you if that's what you mean, Veronica. I would love to be on a panel with you. I also really like, I don't know if you're familiar with a channel called Chez Zone, I think is how you say it. And I discovered the two of you around the same time because you both are doing a lot of good work on Micah Miller's case. And at first, I wasn't so sure about her, but I love her. She's adorable. She's hilarious. She's really cute and really skinny, I guess is probably why I was a little prejudiced. Not that we're not cute and skinny, right, Veronica? Um, anyway, she's just a little too cute and a little too skinny, but she is intelligent and she's authentic. That is the most important thing to me, is just being yourself, like, and not pretending that we're any smarter than we are. I mean, you got to be smart to know how to like use a computer and have a YouTube channel, in my opinion. And as soon as we think we're smarter than we are, like, that's ridiculous. I mean, we all need to humble ourselves and know that we're learning all the time. And as much as content creators can be narcissists, we also have to be extremely humble. So that tempers it and makes it a healthy balance, in my opinion. Because when I first got into this whole thing, I would hear people talk about how narcissistic content creators are. And it's like, well, you couldn't even be an artist if you didn't have some type of narcissism. If you didn't think that what you had to create was important, you have to have some sense of self importance, but not to be overly self important and not to be exclusive and think that you're better than other people. But being humble by putting yourself out there, people are going to criticize you and rip you a new one all the time. And you're going to make mistakes and you're going to make a fool of yourself. And that's okay. That's part of it. Yes, it was loud. You could hear it. Good. Heard it. It's 87 in Verdi. Where is Verdi? Is that California, Jade Hunter? Oh, not sure about live, but no money to JP. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be sharing some clips. Oh, Veronica's channel is called Veronica Adams. And yeah, if you want to put the link in, Mr. Mark or CB or Nico, if you want to put the link to Veronica's channel. And she calls herself the Joke Star, which is cute. And she's got a unicorn with rainbows. Did you guys see? I added my chasing unicorns thing. I'm so excited. I finally put that in today. I've only put it in a couple of times. It's there to stay, except for the fact that I gifted it to my son, the one who's in the military, and him and his wife, they really want it. The other side, because it's like a desk thing, says pretending to work. So it's one of those like triangle things that you put on your desk. So chasing unicorns, pretending to work. Yes, that's me. Okay. Hello, Jade Hunter. Annie Ruler. So Annie says, Mark, I canceled Dish and paid $13.99 a month, no ads anywhere all day, saved $105 a month. Wow, Annie Ruler. I use Roku and we've saved like seriously over $10,000 in the last 11 years with Roku. Not kidding. Not kidding at all. Because we had cable that was probably roughly 100 a month, so like 1,200 a year. In 10 years that'd be $12,000, and you have to spend a little bit on the Roku, but nothing compared to that. So yeah, we've seriously saved like 10 grand, which is why I can afford to quit my job and do this. And I'm working on getting my first payment, you guys. I am. And I'm going to petition them to get paid for my first month last year, that I racked up a good number in the first month and they never sent it, and they are acting like they're never going to. And they acted like I was supposed to do this, that, and the other before the 45 days expired, but it was just a bunch of effery. And it took me all this time to fix it. Anyway, I'm like all over the map. I'm just so excited to have my friends here. Thanks, you guys. Mark, I am paid YouTube member. Yeah, and they hiked it up. It was like $12.99 a month to not have ads in your feed, and now it's like $18.99. I haven't bitten that bullet, and now I'm a lot less tempted to. I always wanted to. My husband was like, no, it's a waste of money. But no, I mean, especially when you have a channel, but not when it's $20 a month. That's ridiculous. Let's see. make sure I'm not missing anybody. Tell Scooby hi. Who's Scooby? I don't know who you're referring to, Mark, but hello to your dear Ripley. And yeah, Coco, the one with cancer, she's doing pretty good. Pray for Coco and her cancer. We're just hoping that it doesn't come back. Oh, thank you, Mr. Mark. You got it. We all got narcissistic traits. It's the one with all 15 traits that we need to worry about, right? Exactly, Jade. Yeah, you have to have some narcissism in order to think that you're worthy of like breathing air, drinking water, and eating food and taking up space. You have to. There's no way you could survive if you had zero narcissism. That'd be like zero ego, and you have to have a healthy ego or you're just a royal pain in the butt and you're pathological and you're gonna hurt people like at least emotionally if not physically too. So Scooby-Doo, 20 miles from Truckee, Jade Hunter says. And we had a 3.2 earthquake around 2 a.m about 25 to 30 miles west of me. I was awake but did not feel it. LOL. Well, yeah, 3.2 is pretty light. You would barely feel that. It would just feel like a truck going by your house, if even that. If you can get up with me privately, Veronica, I would be more than happy to like email and like trade phone numbers and stuff like that. So I'm not real technologically inclined, so I don't know how to do nothing, but can I throw you a thingamajig, make you a moderator, and if you don't want me to, I'll undo it, but there, I'm just doing it. And then email me your email address, my email address, or you could put your email address in here, actually. My email address is justicetooz@gmail.com. And then we can trade phone numbers, and then we can text and even talk too, if you'd like. So yeah, I don't like to like offer that on a live because I don't want other people to feel left out. I've offered that to you, Mr. Mark, and you haven't taken me up on it, which is cool. Don't worry about it. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by not doing that with other people. I just, you have to be so careful when you're doing this. And yeah, I've like gotten in touch with some crazy content creators whose names I won't mention that I didn't know how freaking nuts they were until after having contacted them. I'm like, okay, good to know. And one of those, like, she still likes to roast me, which is funny because it's just like, you guys maybe have heard of Michelle Lee. Like, dare I mention her name? Like, it's like poking the dragon, poking the bear. She will like release her fire breath on me. She is a wild one. But if you know who she is, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know who she is, you need to be aware just so you can stay safe and watch out. I had recommended her to you guys when I first started noticing her stuff. And she's gotten into it with J-Rod. She's gotten into it with a lot of people, but she still likes to like roast me once in a while, which again, I find it hilarious because we had like the briefest interaction. And she's just it's sad. It's really sad. Like it's sad to blast yourself on YouTube. Like try to lay low when you are going through some nightmare stuff. Okay, where am I? Veronica says, I've got to get up ready for work. I've been distracted all day with so much going on. And you know what else, Veronica? I think that the Shay Zone also does the DoorDash stuff. I just saw a video of hers from like a month ago where she was doing that. And I thought, how cool. I love that you do that while you're on your, sometimes you go live or make videos while you're doing that. I think it's great. The multitasker, man, some serious mind juggling. Like I said, you got to be smart to be able to do this stuff. Not to mention, you got to know a little bit of math once in a while, and just like how to roll, how to make it profitable. Jade, without any narcissistic trait, we die. Nobody will take care of us like we can. Exactly. Did I highlight that one? So I had a good day of a yoga day yesterday, even though I'm done with my certification. You guys know I'm still in a 2 year long mastery program. So I wanted to talk with you more about what I've learned of the place that Taylor Casey disappeared from, because she's not the first person to disappear from there. Not surprised to find that out, but they have a nasty history of a lot of crazy violating type of stuff against women. They have a lot of weird stuff about trans people, and they're also, it sounds like, very racist. So Taylor Casey was black, she was trans, and then there was like some black American man speaking with her on the beach wearing like a black Celtics baseball cap. That was the last time she was seen. Like, why is that last sighting not on her missing posters? Why is her weight not on her missing posters? Why is her height not on her missing posters? Who does this remind you of? Well, they did have Kylie's weight and height, but they didn't have like the last time seen, and they didn't have her last name at first. Same with Trinity Backus. These people are just whack. They're up to something. They're totally up to something. And then at this yoga retreat where Taylor disappeared from, they had to wear those yellow t-shirts and white pants every day, all of them. It was mandatory. Like, they all had to dress alike and have no identity. And you guys have seen that Paula Plunder video where Taylor like jumps when that woman leans into her and touches her very gently and appropriately, but she's like wigging out. And I'm thinking that she probably has been violated in the past, and that maybe some weird things have been happening there already. And that maybe she's got, my husband brought this up, that maybe she's got some kind of neurological disorder, like some kind of tick, because when she reacted, like she so physically overreacted that I thought he had a really good point. And he knows his stuff because, you know, like I've said to you guys, he's not just law enforcement, he's also an EMT and a firefighter. So he really knows human behavior. And I was, you know, I wanted to show him the video to see what his impression was. And that was his main thing, was that he thought that she might have like a neurological disorder. And, you know, it made me think of kids who have like the tactile disorder. You know, it's like being on the autism or the Asperger's spectrum. So I don't do private things, Veronica. Oh, and that's cool. I understand, Mark. Yeah, that's smart too. That's how you stay out of that mess. Because yeah, like when you get in, when it's messy, you just, you know, you got to bail, and it can be a waste of your time. So yeah. Um, yeah, you can't put up with anybody's cray cray. Like, I mean, not just on YouTube, but in life in general. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. 23 miles from Truckee as per Siri. Wow, and it's so beautiful up there. I love it up there, but I'd be concerned. Yeah, I would not be digging on that. Where did it go? I don't do private things. Sherry, hello. Jade Hunter, that's right, Annie. Justin. Um, so you say Justin. I don't know if you're talking about the TikTok Justin guy who seems all right. Oh no, I need to get plugged in. Um, one sec. Oh, hold on, you guys. I gotta find my freaking plug. I took it out of here. That's annoying. One sec. I'll be right back. well, thank you for your patience. My apologies. That is so frustrating. Let's just hope I grabbed the right one and that you're still there. Plug him in. You know how I say, it is just always something. So okay, good, you're still there. Phew. Because I had my mic all set up, of course I didn't have my power cord and didn't realize it. Anyway, sorry about that. Thanks for your patience. So annoying. So Justin from TikTok is the one that you are probably referring to with the Micah Miller case. But then there's that Justin from the Idaho 4 case, that crazy Justin trans person who is just weird AF. Good for Coco prayers. Okay, I'm going to speed read and get caught up. Did hear the earthquake. I'm the same. LOL. Jazz, my travel channel followed you. Fun. Oh, Granny Di is traveling again, entertaining myself out of bed. Cute. Travel channel. I love it. Jokester views at gmail.com. Jokestar. Was kidding you, Veronica. It was meant for Jazz. That is funny. Mr. Mark is hilarious. Nico, thank you for putting my email in there. Thank you so much, girl. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And sorry about that little break I had to take to go grab my cord, but at least we're still live. And at least you got to view the beautiful chakra tower so you're all aligned within yourself, within your soul, within your psyche, with the universe and Mother Nature. Okay. Where are we at? It's been a crazy couple of days with me. LOL, Veronica says. Oh, Jazz, I spoke to AAA emergency roadside guy for 11 miles 2 days ago. So you probably meant 11 minutes. And I saw the live with Mr. Mark that you were talking about it. And yeah, I am really fascinated. I got to say, Mark, that I am pretty much in agreement with almost all of your impressions of how things are in the Kylie case. Just in general, And yeah, I think it was you, Mark, but maybe it was Jade Hunter who said that roadside assistant Nick did work for AAA, or he did work for the roadside assistant company that we won't mention the name of, but that maybe that was just a cover and that was just for a brief period because we know he quit right after. Sorry, I must have forgot that I have your email. Here's my number, 8675309. Jenny might answer. That's cute. I was like, Mark, don't put your number in there. Too funny. Don't put your number on, Mark. I'm not TikTok savvy either. Yeah, I try to just do YouTube because there's so much on YouTube. And I have like Insta, but I don't really do it. I used to do Facebook. I don't do it at all anymore. I'm just YouTube, just the one. And I know that diversifying is how you like really grow your channel and make the money and stuff. So maybe I'll have my IT crew help me with that someday, but I don't know. I just like to focus on doing my content and doing what I do. Let's not be transparent, Mr. Mark says. Some people do not like to be touched. Yeah, Nico, that's a really good point. And it's also very understandable. And if you've seen the video that Paula Plunder has of the reaction that Taylor had to this person 2 times in a row. So it's like the first time, you could think, okay, well, maybe she didn't realize that she was going to have physical contact and it made her jump because she was nervous because she was reading in front of, she was like doing a public speaking kind of thing. But then the second time it happened like immediately after, and she jumped just as much. And the way she like flexes her hand, at least one of them, and she's kind of like shaking. I mean, it could be neurological. It could just be an extreme response based on history or based on things that had happened since she was there. I did find out that she traveled there like June 3rd or 4th from Chicago. And then the last day that she was seen was June 19th. So what, that's 16 days. And it was probably like a 30-day or maybe like 28-day certification program, because it was that 200-hour YTT, the same training that I just completed a week or 2 weeks ago. But the way I did it, it was like 20 hours a month for 10 months, whereas the YTT there at that place in the Bahamas, and I've seen them in the States like that too, where it's a 50-hour a week for 4 weeks, which would just kill me. Like, it's a very intense process. And even the 20 hours a week or 20 hours a month for 10 months was a lot. Like, I mean, I think you just need to give yourself time to digest all that material. I guess if you're like super into doing yoga every day for like 15 years of your life, like maybe Taylor was, that maybe it's not that big of an adjustment then to be in a program like that. But it's very intensive, and you also are very vulnerable because you have to do a lot of interpersonal work, and you have to trust people, and you have to be real and be honest and show your warts and all. And if you're in a situation where people might take advantage of you and you're out of the country and you're like on an island that you can only get to by boat, that's very isolated. And like, why, we all know that abusers like to isolate their victims. Some people, yeah, let's see, especially without permission. Thank you, Nico. Yeah, like, always ask before you give someone a hug, especially in this day and age, right? I was being jokey with the Veronica private comment. Let's get the bears. What bears, Mark Jez? You can see a picture of me at the Purple store in Seattle. I am not a video of me person. Oh, I would love to see the picture of you at the Purple store in Seattle. Yeah, more than me think that I am not alone. No, 11 miles. Oh my goodness, you're only 11 miles from Truckee? LOL. I am not diverse. I am not diverse. Me, dog Kylie. I'm like, Mark, what are you? Me, dog Kylie. That's cute. Yeah, I like that. Just stay focused, I mean, and especially with the medical history that you've shared with being, what, you were in a coma for, and I don't think I'm doxing you because you've shared this publicly a few times. Was it like 10 years ago and you were in a coma for like 90 days from pneumonia? Like, that is crazy. Whatever it was, I know it's a miracle that you have survived. And, it's amazing that you have the ability to do all the things that you do. So, so much to be grateful for. Like being able to find my power cord just now when I was looking. So let me look through my notes. Unfortunately, I have 3 notebooks going, not just 1 or 2. I've got a lot of notes from the weekend. My brain was just going. So yeah, we never got to see Lane Looper and his testimony. We didn't get to see Hannah Gutierrez Reed and what she was going to say, which the prediction was that she was just going to take the 5th. But just because the box of the ammo that this Troy douchebag dropped off at the police station, just because the ammo was for Colt 45s, it had nothing to do with the case. So that's why I believe that law enforcement handled the situation appropriately. And again, I did ask my husband. He said what they should have done, and I agree 1,000%, is they should have made a note in the Helena Hutchins file referring to the file where they documented that this guy, Thal Reed's buddy, Troy McCoy. No, Troy McCoy is from the other case. I did that on purpose, just being silly. Where is it? Like I said, way too many pages here. But I do want to get that page with his name on it. And it's hiding. It starts with a T. The Troy dude. Why is it not showing up? I know it's in here. My eyes are just probably looking right past it. Okay, I give up. Too many pages. Sorry, I'm not more organized, you guys. I do my best. I do what I can. All right. Troy Teskey, the Thal Reed's friend who dropped off the box of ammo that had nothing to do with anything. So that was what that whole dismissal was over. That it was determined that that was just like a monkey wrench. And so it was documented as such because it had nothing to do with the case. And had they just made a note in their documentation in Helena Hutchins' file that this other case existed that had nothing to do with this case, everything would have been fine. And, you know, I try to always look on the bright side. The bright side is that in reality, law enforcement does that kind of thing a lot where they bury evidence and, you know, put it under a different file number. And you won't know that it exists when you do a public records request. You would have to know that it exists in order to request it. So that's an easy way for them to not be transparent. And there's a lot of that goes on. And so this case getting thrown out on that will definitely have the ripple effect of discouraging law enforcement from doing that, because they're not supposed to do it anyway, but of course they do. But the other thing is that that was the police department that did that, not the prosecuting attorney. So the prosecuting attorney, a lot of this information was brand new to her in the trial, like seeing that police body cam footage. If you guys watched the trial, I mean, she should have been aware of this stuff. And it was the police department's fault that she wasn't aware of it, in my opinion. So she didn't do anything wrong. And yeah, the whole Brady Giglio thing, you know, the judge wanted to throw out the case. The judge wanted to protect Alec Baldwin, in my opinion. So she did. So it's a done deal. That attorney, Kari Morrisey, can definitely sue the judge. However, because it's all documented the way it's documented, because the judge was meticulously documenting it the way she documented it, it might be a really hard case for Kari Morrisey to win. But I hope she does. I hope she files a grievance and a complaint. And, you know, I don't think Alec can be tried again, but the big thing now is, are they going to overturn Hannah's conviction? And even if it takes them 1.5 years to overturn it, so she's already served out her prison sentence, then she'd be entitled to a big cash reward, which would be disgusting. And, you know, at the same time, I almost question if she was simply a scapegoat. But she did a lot of terrible things, and she had a terrible demeanor about her. She had no integrity. She had no concern for the life that was lost, or for Joel Sousa's injury. I mean, that's a serious injury too. in his shoulder that, he probably won't have full use of his arm. Like, who knows if he can even lift it above his head? And who knows if he has nerve damage and pain, all that pain and suffering. We love you, Mark, Sherry says. Sorry, I hadn't gotten to that yet. There we go. But yes, but 4 months in 2014. Okay, I'm sorry, Mark. Shh. Seems they tried to be slick or lazy, and it was not the correct law enforcement. Again, Uvalde, Kylie, Trinity, Dante. Yeah, I don't think they were being lazy. I think this guy was a total joke, Troy Teskey. And I say Troy McCoy because there's actually a Troy McCoy in the Chris Watts, the Shanann Watts, Nico, Cece, and Bella familicide. Troy McCoy is fishy AF, and he didn't have any real repercussions of his effery. I think he was involved with that Watts thing. I won't get into it. We'll stay focused. We'll try. My photo for travel YouTube site is me at Purple Store yesterday. I went to Mariner Dodger game. Mental note, next time confirm home game. That is how Granny rolls. One rescue video is all. Oh, very cool. Oh, Granny is traveling again. Oh, very cool. So that's the name of the channel. Can Mark or somebody put the link so we can sub up to Annie Ruler's channel? That's awesome. Very cool. The judge did seem like she wanted any part of the trial of Alex. Yeah, Mark. She had a great disdain the entire time. So if you had seen the Hannah Gutierrez Reed trial, the judge had that kind of disdain towards Hannah. But this was like towards the whole trial. You're absolutely right and accurate. Okay. So maybe switching gears. So the judge's name is Mary Marlowe Sommer, Sommer, just for anybody who's curious. Yeah, the Brandon Lee case, you guys, when Brandon Lee was fatally shot by a fake bullet, right? And it took his life, but nobody ever got charged with that. So the dummy round that took his life, the man who shot it suffered a great deal. He it was like his undoing. He quit Hollywood and he had a lot of emotional problems. And a normal person would. A normal person is going to be haunted by that. But I don't think that Hannah Gutierrez Reed or Alec Baldwin show any signs of giving a flying F. And that is what is so bothersome. So getting back to the Taylor Casey case, and then we'll talk more about Kylie and Micah. So the guy in the Celtic hats, the American who might have been from Chicago, we have a police chief there in the Bahamas named Michael Johnson, who was put on an administrative leave and is under investigation right in the midst of this whole thing with Taylor. So they say that it's not related, but obviously we can't trust this police department anyway, from what we know of them. And even if it doesn't have anything to do with Taylor, if he's under investigation for effery on other cases and he's running a department like that, then that sets the tone that the whole department is going to be run with effery. Just saying. So, the video of Taylor in the yellow t-shirt when the woman touches her, that video is from 6:31 a.m. on June 17th, so 2 days prior to the last time she was seen. So that's weird too, that she's jumping like that on a video 2 days before she goes missing. And even if she left voluntarily, the ashram, the yoga school people still should have been on alert trying to find her and trying to let people know that she was missing. But instead, they told all the students to stay quiet and to not talk about it and to not talk to any news media, basically just to zip it. So that is very suspicious, extremely suspicious. Um, so I think I got everything out of that notebook, which is good because I had way too much in that one notebook. And then I just have a little bit. Oh, thank you, Mr. Mark. Absolutely. Sounds like Truckee. Yeah. So I think we can shift gears over there to Truckee. Hateful, hateful what has gone on for 2 years with Kylie. And today being the 15th of July, we are 3 weeks away from the 2-year anniversary of when she went missing. Okay, it doesn't look like I have too much in this one notebook about my notes that I wanted to share with you guys. But let me be sure. No, there was okay, here's my notes from Micah's stuff. Who is speaking for Kylie? Did everyone who knew her go underground? Yeah. So you're speaking for Kylie, Mark, and I feel like we all are that are here on YouTube. People that are watching the videos, even if they're not speaking for her, just paying attention is extremely important. You know, keeping a high profile, just like with Casey Taylor, trying to keep a high profile, keeping these people's names in the algorithm is very important. Tsunami seems to be closest to the underground. Ooh, Annie Ruler. Truth Tsunami, Sagali. So her channel is the Kylie Rodney Justice, right? Because it used to be Sagali, something Sagali, and now I think it's that Kylie Rodney Justice is hers. Maybe she has more than one channel. I'm not sure. I mean, Truckee Family for Speaking for Kylie. Yeah, and Shan did an incredible video the other night, you guys. I don't want to forget to mention that was on Friday night. She did a live. It was great. I was very emotional and, having a lot of deep thoughts still about the Helena Hutchins trial that had just been dismissed a few hours earlier. So I was having some trouble paying attention. I wanted to go back and review that whole live that Shan did because she seemed to uncover something about billions of dollars of contracts that Scammy's parents are the lead on. Can you confirm or deny, Annie Ruler, Mr. Mark, and Sherry, anybody who was there or has seen Shan's last live or who can speak to that? It sounded like she uncovered billions of dollar contracts that Scammy's mother and father, that the Sierra Nevada, what's it called? Sierra Nevada investigates the PI firm, the security office that they own and run. I think it's called Sierra Nevada Investigations or something like that, right? And that name of that company was on some documents that Shan uncovered, that they are doing multi-billion-dollar contracts. Like, that's out of control crazy. as far as underestimating the power that Scammy would have in that community there. That makes a little more sense why she was running the show and running the PD and running the feds and running the sheriff and running everyone and everything with all her freaking lies that didn't even make sense, and she just kept talking. As long as she kept moving her lips, she thought she was in the clear because she's Sammy, which, yeah, if your parents have control over billions of dollars in a small community like that, they're going to be the king and the queen of the town, and then Scammy is the princess of the town who's going to inherit that. Can't speak on, I do believe in it's cash cow laundering grants and fees. I need to review it again. I was in and out. Oh, this morning it was brought up. They are thinking life insurance scam on missing child Sebastian. Like my thought on Kylie, follow the money. Yeah. Well, and even back to the Rust case, that there's been questions about that passion project being some kind of it's probably you, Annie Ruler, who brought it up, some kind of insurance scam with what happened. No law enforcement, no, we don't need, we have Super Sammy. Yes, the money. Yeah, isn't that insane? Yeah, I'll put a link to that live from Friday night. That was so awesome that Shan was live again, and I was able to participate some, but like I said, I was just really, I really had the wind knocked out of me psychologically from watching that trial for 3 days and then feeling like I wasted my time watching it. But then quickly I was like, no, I didn't waste my time watching it. I'm glad that I watched it so that I know what was going on, because now I don't know that I would be so motivated to watch it with it being thrown out. But, if all you know is the cover story and what's going to be shared on mainstream media, it's really sad, you guys, because 95% of the population is going to believe that BS. But there's plenty of people, like in JLR's chat, and Magnolia was one of them specifically, who knows what I'm talking about when I talk about that was wrong what the judge did, that she could have just as easily been swayed the other way, just like a jury can just as easily be swayed one way or the other. And if their mind is already made up, there's nothing you can do. When the fix is in, the fix is in. And that's what I was saying from jump with this Alec Baldwin trial, with the fact that they were not going to mention that he was the producer. And what? So they weren't going to mention the producer that was yelling at Helena Hutchins the night before, you and your effing crew? Were they just going to leave out everything relevant? Yeah. Ad, stop talking back. Sorry. So sorry. Okay. So I've shared with you guys last week what I thought JP is being investigated for. The money laundering, the trafficking, it's kind of the same story with what is not being investigated in the Kylie Rodney case, right? And perhaps what may have been, or what might be going on down there in the Bahamas with trafficking. So I don't know. There seems to be a history with that ashram of violating women, and like I said, the weird trans thing, like trying to force people to be trans that aren't trans or something like that. But the fact that there's anything to do with trans historically going on at that ashram, I mean, to be into yoga, you have got to be accepting of different strokes for different folks, and you've got to be accepting of all diversity and ways of life and ways of being and different religions and different belief systems. You can't try to judge or impose your views on anyone and be, um, you're in violation of the ethics of the yoga certification program. I mean, there is a board that oversees the yoga certification program. So you can also be not just a certified yoga instructor, you can be a registered yoga instructor. But yeah, it seems that there's trafficking of both types going on in the Bahamas with the ashram and with the law enforcement, and that's what the police chief is under investigation for, is not wanting to investigate a homicide of a um, a lord leader. So there's a major Pandora's box there, just like there's that major Pandora's box there in Truckee that Kylie's case was scratching the surface of and threatening the power dynamic in the community with the family that lives up the hill from her, closer to the Donner Party picnic area. I mean, the Donner Party picnic area, technically the Memorial State Park is down there at the base of the mountain, but the Donner Party picnic area where the tragic, disgusting cannibalism occurred is up further from the mountain than where the Lost Trail Lodge is, but it's the Lost Trail Lodge is near it. But what's even closer to it, I believe, is the Hamburglar household, that they're like practically on top of where the Donner Party uh, disaster happened. And again, that disaster happened not just because of the bad luck of the snowstorm, but a series of bad choices and bad leadership, and um, people not speaking out, and people not uh, being allowed to leave. They weren't allowed to leave the party to go and try to find help until what, like 4 months after, 4 months down the road, 3 months down the road, and then they finally got out and found help. And then what a nightmare. How did Kylie pay for things college? Such a good question, Mr. Mark. She had her job at the tea place. Um, you guys, I called that tea place once, right? I forget the name of it, but um, I called them just to ask them how much a bobo tea was, because Scammy was always all excited to talk about the free bobo tea that she scored from Kylie at work. That was like probably the only time she ever interacted with her directly. And it always upset me because that was like during the memorial service, the celebration of life. She's not talking about Kylie, she's talking about her own free bobo tea. And my thing was like, Kylie might have been taking a risk giving her friend a free tea that is probably like $8 or $9. And so I called to ask them the price of their bobo tea, and I nailed it. I think it was $8. But I think you could get add-ons that made it 9. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the tea place right now. The Tea Boutique. It had a really cute name. I'm sure if you just Google tea boutique in Truckee, it's probably the only one because it's such a small town. So how did she pay for things college? So she had that job. I doubt that she got paid for the work that she did at the lodge. I don't know. But Mark, on your last video and what you were talking about with a different case, the woman who drowned in the swimming pool at the gym, and you were drawing your parallels with that case and Kylie's case, I was thinking, um, Lindsay Rodney Neiman said that Kylie had gone to the gym that day. So why didn't we ever see any surveillance footage of her going into her gym or parking at her gym or anything? There was no history of that either, which goes along with your theory of that the timeline is all skewed, that things happened prior to August 6th. And I agree with you 100%. Because, yeah, when a person is missing, the law enforcement trying to find that person and trying to get the public to help find that person, they're going to provide all of the information that they can. They're going to provide all of the photographs or videotape footage and still shots that they can, because you want to have what the person looked like, what they were wearing, and that one alleged Kylie not Kylie photograph is, I think, scammy. I don't think that that is Kylie. And I think it's so weird that when they have that photo on their giant poster board, when they're pretending to have these like press conferences, these pressers where they're saying, help us find Kylie, when like your guys are just sitting around flapping your jaws when you should be out there trying to find her. Like, it's crazy. But you have Scammy standing right in front of the picture of herself, and nobody's saying anything except that they're like confusing the names, and they're calling her Kylie and saying that Sammy got lost or something like that. Like, it wasn't just the people that day when Lindsay and Scammy had that freaking makeout session at the presser. It was also Tony Dodge did that in his half-hour interview with Scammy, where he says, he crosses his wires. So it was weird that there was like 3 different instances where Kylie and Sammy were getting mistaken. Their names were getting intertwined. And it just makes you wonder. Like, one time is one thing, 2 times, and then I'm pretty sure it was a 3rd time too. And that was just in what we saw as a public from thousands of miles away that aren't there and don't really know anything. Oh, does everyone here know that Kylie lived at the Lost Trail Lodge? Did she live at the Lost Trail Lodge? Because I thought that she hadn't been sleeping there for a while, that she tried to stay not at home, that like for like a week or 2, that she was kind of, maybe this might be rumor, she was kind of living out of her car and kind of just staying at friends' houses. Have you guys heard that? It's been a long time since I've discussed that. And it sounded quite possible, especially because it took a while to get up the hill to get up to that lodge. I mean, in the wintertime, there'd be times when you couldn't go in and out, but even in the summer with good weather, still not an easy feat. I mean, you had to drive through that one little tunnel where you're like at the same time trying not to drive into the creek. Like, that's a tight maneuver for anybody, no matter how good of a driver. And then to have a small SUV, but you have to have like a 4-wheel drive to get in and out of there, but you'd want to have like as small as possible because of that freaking tunnel that they had to go in. They had to go under it every time they were coming or going. Her rich grandpa, don't know how long she worked there. At the tea place, I think she worked there for over a year, Mark. I don't remember the gym comment. Oh, so there was the woman you were talking about, the case, I think it was from like Nevada, a recent case where a woman drowned in the swimming pool at the gym, and there was a lot of surveillance tape of the 10 minutes that she was in the pool drowning, and there were a lot of other people there swimming. But it just made me think about Kylie having gone to the gym. You don't remember the gym comment that Lindsay had said that that's what Kylie did that day, that she had communicated with her, and that on Friday, on the last day that Kylie, when she then didn't go to the Hot August Nights, but instead went to the alleged party and then was never seen again, that she was going to the gym. And then didn't the granddad say that he met up with her for lunch or something like that, like maybe around 11:30 or noon? But I don't necessarily buy it. Agree, it is not Kylie. It is scammy. Yeah, I know. It took me so long to come out of that brain fog. It's so easy for the authorities to gaslight because, we're going to believe when they show us a picture of somebody and say this is the last time this person was seen, we're not going to think that they're trying to pull a fast one on us. We're going to say, oh, okay, that's a picture of the person the last time they were seen. Kylie applied for independence. Thank you, Annie Ruler. Yeah, so Kylie had applied to be emancipated, and then it was a month before she turned 17. And I don't know the ins and outs of emancipation, but when you're 16, obviously you have to file through the courts. And maybe when you're 17, it's easier to become emancipated. Maybe the requirements are lower. So maybe they were afraid of her turning 17. I mean, there's that whole thing with the 17 um, tattoo that was in the wrong place. But I really agree with what Mark's been saying in his most recent videos about that vehicle that was in Prosser Lake not being Kylie's vehicle. That was what, a counterfeit vehicle. that was a different car. I mean, you were saying, Mark, that CRVs are easy to come by. And yeah, silver CRVs are very easy to come by. We've seen a lot of them in the case. So I don't think it was hers either. And I think that that's why Sammy and MC Ultra were so vigilant and assertive about saying that it had that bull sticker on it, because they were describing the car that they were trying to pretend was Kylie's, that it had the ram sticker, the cow with horns, and then it had hubcaps, and Kylie's car didn't have hubcaps. So they put a sticker on a different vehicle. And then that whole thing with the sticker not being on the vehicle, but the spot where it was when the car was in the tow yard for all that time, that was weird that the sticker got removed. But my belief is that somebody removed it because they realized that it would have their DNA on it and fingerprints on it. And so they got it off of there. So let me read the rest of your comment. Annie Ruler, Kylie applied for independence, slapped mom, but could get grants on her own. We live with 20 millionaire nice life, but no free college for my kids. Maybe emancipation was for that. I don't know what you mean if there's a typo in there. We live with 20 millionaire nice life, but no free college for my kids. Are you a $20 million millionaire, Annie Ruler? Yeah. Nothing to see here. Bad scripted. They know. No one reacted as well to the mess up, and only what is on video. I don't know anything. I don't remember that, but it's why I think she was gone for a while and why the parents are quiet, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, there's I think a lot to be said for that theory. Left off, Mark, could Kylie get grants if emancipated? My kids had babies and qualified for college grants, productive adults now. Well, and remember, all the grants in Truckee would go through Sammy's parents. Like, they were the ones that controlled the public funding, like for art community grants and stuff like that. No, Kylie went to the gym. Comment, did not hear of that. Yeah, that's what Lindsay had always claimed, was that she'd gone to the gym that day, before the creme brulee. Annie, good point. Not sure. Did she really file for emancipated? I think she did, Mark. I think she did file for the emancipation, but that's a good question. Like, to try to find the public records. But I think that that's been established, that she had filed for emancipation, and then it's been like downplayed. Like they've tried to not keep a light shining on that fact. So let's maybe shift gears slightly into the Micah Miller case, because I'm noticing we are at 90 minutes and want to talk about Micah before we get to 2 hours. So Veronica, who might not be watching anymore, she had to go do stuff, she said that 2-hour video is released. So what I know of this 2-hour video, in case you guys don't know, and if you do, please chime in. Hey, dang it, Nancy. Nice to see you. Cha Fine Tea. Thank you, Fred Field. Can I have receipt? Oh, you guys are awesome. Let's see. So Cha Fine Tea was the name of it. That doesn't ring a bell, but I believe you. But I wonder if there's more than one tea place, because I thought it would ring a bell. Because like I said, I did call it even and ask them how much they charge for their bubble teas, their bobo teas. It all makes sense now. Dang it, Nancy, what all makes sense now? Long live, yeah, you rock, Jazz. You're so sweet. Dang it, Nancy. It all makes sense? Question mark. Cha or chai? Yeah, good question, Nico. But yeah, I thought it was a different one. Maybe I will look real quick. And then let's see. Because I think when I Googled it before, I just typed in tea house in Truckee and it came right up. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, there's that one. That's probably it. You're right, Fred. Cha Fine Teas of Truckee. So CHA apostrophe. And it's on Donner Pass Road. Wonderful tea shop with a variety of high quality, delicious. I love tea. Yeah, that looks like it is probably the only one. And they've got pictures. Yeah, and the pictures look the same. Yep, that's it. And yeah, the other places are coffee houses. So thank you, Fred. Good job. Good job. Good job. See, isn't it so cool that we can just like look stuff up? It's amazing, isn't it? We don't have to like drive to Truckee or, know somebody there and say, ask them, what are the tea houses in Truckee? It's amazing the information that we have at our fingertips. So yeah, Cha Fine Tea. Good job. So yeah, this thing with this 2-hour interview that JP was doing with this certain channel that's like kind of a small channel, and then maybe trying to help the channel grow, but people had been doing research on the channel, and the channel has only been a channel. I think it was probably Veronica Adams where I got this, but maybe it was another one. I'll think about it. They've only had their channel since May 7th or somewhere around May 7th. So after Micah's passing. So that's interesting. Like, why is this channel inventing itself? People asked me the same question when I invented myself as a new channel a week after Kylie's remains were recovered, or they said that Kylie's remains were recovered. And I've told you guys, I've said this numbers of times on my channel. The reason why I decided to make a channel when I did was because I had thought I wanted to make a channel for a long time and I hadn't gotten around to it, hadn't done it. And there were a couple of cases that almost got me to, Kylie's being one of them. But I thought, I need to make my channel before she's found, because once she's found, there'd be no point in me making my channel. So immediately when she was allegedly recovered and it was like nothing was resolved, it was quite the opposite. That's when I got motivated to say, yeah, I need to make my channel. I've got some things I need to say, and these things need to be said. And I felt like I had a unique perspective. I wasn't able to find the information that I was thinking needed to be shared. I wasn't able to find it on YouTube. So I was like, well, I got to make my channel and put this information out there. Um, and so that's why I made my channel when I did. And why this channel that has the 2 hour interview with JP invented themselves like maybe 10 days after Micah went missing, or sorry, after she was found deceased with a bullet in her head, just like she had predicted many times. If I'm ever found with a bullet in my head, I didn't do it. Let's see. I love the way you say you're not tech savvy and then you prove otherwise while on the air. Oh, you mean looking at my cell phone? Yeah, it's cute. That makes me tech savvy. I mean, yeah, I guess it does in a sense, but you're being very kind. And yeah, once I start Googling stuff, I literally just like fall into like bubblegum brain land and like I lose track of time. So I try not to do that while I'm on air. But yeah, there's things that I like to read off of my phone to you guys or try to show you pictures, but it doesn't show very well on my screen for some reason. Because like I know JLR does that. He'll show his phone. He shows the screen a lot of videos and photographs and documents on his phone, and it shows up very well. I don't know why mine doesn't. It might be that he has got a different kind of phone that's better for that, or maybe he has a certain like screen filter or something. I've thought about it, like maybe if I set my brightness a lot lower on my phone, it would show up better on my laptop, because when I've tried it, it just is like a whiteout kind of thing. Um, I wonder if she would have been emancipated, that she would have been entitled to money inheritance the parental units didn't want her to receive. Right. Well, there was a lot of that talk, Nancy, that the dad wanted to kick Lindsay and Tony out of the lodge and give it to Kylie or something like that, because he still owned it. He just had his daughter and her husband managing it and running it, but it was still his lodge. So I don't know. I mean, it's weird the way Lindsay's father had a business with her ex-husband ever since the divorce and still probably to this day. That's kind of odd. I mean, normally families stick with their family members over a divorce, but um, Lindsay's father was in business with her ex-husband, and they were tight. They were hanging out like in the RV when Kylie was found by AWP. They came out on their little ATV together. Um, let's see. All those water rights in Hawaii, up in smoke in Maui. Oh, I know, I know. The date of the Maui fires being August 8th, and the date of the deadline for the locals who won the water rights to have their applications in to then have their water rights was August 7th. That was sus AF. And that litigation had been like 25 years. Just like the land litigation had been about the same, about 25 years. Just like the litigation with Kylie's granddad and the government contracts that Scammy's parents were in charge of had also been going on for about 25 years. So, you know, when people are in litigation, that's like a war. That's like a civilized war in our society. And when it drags on for 25 years, that's really bad and stressful. And there's just a lot there, in my opinion. Let's see. Where is the facts, truth? So why hide all this shite? The point is, you're here now and you very much get to your point across, and you're not afraid to say it. You have a bigger. Oh, that's funny. Bigger orbs than church bells, and we love you. Dang it, you're so sweet. I do like the orbs, in case you haven't noticed. I've got a lot of them what I've got. Oh, can you not even see the orbs on that side? So how did that happen? When I plugged it in, it shifted. Ah, missing my orbs over here. I'm so glad I noticed that. Man, you just like move something the slightest bit and it kind of screws up everything. Okay, gotta have my orbs. And then we got more orbs. We got all of these orbs. And then we got that orb. And there's another orb down there. And then no orbs over there. Oh no, I need orbs on both sides of me. I need to be surrounded by orbs. My power orbs. That's funny. Anyway, I'm glad I noticed that those were out of the frame from when I plugged it in and shifted things around. Oh well. The finger wheel Maui is awful, and the facts that never came out as well. Maui is like fancier than fancy. I mean, all of Hawaii, you have to have a lot of money to go there. It's kind of like going to Disneyland or Disney World. It costs a lot to go there. And however much you think you're going to spend a lot more than that. You just can't help it when you get there because, you know, you're on vacation and everything's expensive and you want stuff. And the food's expensive, the drinks are expensive, if you're going to buy any souvenirs, anything, it's all super expensive. The plane tickets, all of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. And then Maui is the most expensive of all the Hawaiian Islands. It's absolutely the fanciest of all the Hawaiian Islands. And then it had that cool town of Lahaina that had so much character and people loved it because it was more like, it was less touristy and more artsy. And now it's gone. And so all of the rest of the island doesn't have to compete with downtown Lahaina to draw the tourism to come and visit and spend their money. So it's crazy. I have been keeping an eye on what's going on there, and it's absolutely despicable, and it's just overwhelming. Like it's like a freight train out of control that just can't be stopped, in my opinion. I mean, again, when you're dealing with billionaires, you're dealing with billionaires. Like how do you fight that? And when they've got the government in their corner. Let's see. Remember Maui, jazz ding ding. I have to drive and might lose my connection. Thanks for letting me know, Nico. Your room, I and orbs, a lot sleekster hut from Land of the Lost. Oh, you're so sweet. Dang it, Nancy, you'd make an amazing PI. People used to tell me that, I should work for the feds. And, I take that as a compliment. I don't know. I mean, I'm very passionate about the things that I focus on, and I don't know that I'd be any good being told what I had to focus on. So that's why I just try to do my little YouTube channel here, and I've been loving it. I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary at the end of the summer, and it's just amazing. Even without any growth really for the last 12 months, at least I've been able to maintain. So there's that. And I'm glad that it stayed small just so that I can really keep my priorities in order and just do what it is that I want to do. But I am very open to your guys' input too, because you guys always point me in really good directions. So when it came out about the sheriff being involved in Vegas, oh, dang it, Nancy, thank you for that. Yeah. That police chief of Maui was the first police chief of Maui to not be from Hawaii. And also, I think that there was like, you're supposed to live there for at least 12 months before being a police chief, but they waived that rule for him. So he'd only been the police chief there. Was it for 6 months or was it for 18 months? Because I know he got sworn in like a December 15th of whatever year it was. And then by the end of February, his executive assistant died in that weird car crash. And yeah, it was just the first 7 months. He had probably 7 grievances filed against him already. So yeah, he'd only been there for, I think, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months when it happened, right? I'd have to pull out my phone and Google it. I'm not going to because I'm pretty sure that that's accurate and it's kind of immaterial. But what was really fascinating to me was finding out that the Governor Green, um, that Dr. Green, was also new as governor. So he'd only been elected like 6 months before, I think. And then also Bison, the the mayor had only been installed for about 6 months also. So all three of them were new. That was crazy. Finding that out, that the governor and the mayor and the police chief were all new, that really freaked me out. Because yeah, they had to have a whole new administration in order to pull something like that off, in my opinion. They pulled something off big time. Um, Fred Field says, I sent manager Cindy of the tea shop a sympathy card for her and her co-worker 822 and thinking of you guys card 823. That's really sweet, Fred. That's really nice. Yeah, Cindy could come out with a public statement. She could have spoken at Kylie's celebration of life. Where is he hiding, working now? Mexico, Colombia, cartel, perhaps? I think that police chief is still there, isn't he? He's gotten raises and awards and accolades, and I mean, he's so awesome. He was able to like bring the numbers of the deceased in the fire down, right? It like stayed stalled out at like 115, and then he was able to like drive it down under 100, and then it crept back up to like 100 and 101. It's probably at 101, I think, the last time I checked, but that whole thing was freaking crazy. And everybody that's from Hawaii knows many more people than that passed away. They were just never going to admit it. That's crazy. I mean, it was a massacre. I bought that t-shirt from the Brush Junkie channel, the Maui Massacre t-shirt. I should wear that. I should wear my Shan t-shirt too, the Long Live Kylie. I should be wearing those t-shirts on my channel, but they're not black. And when I don't wear black, it's always troublesome. So anyway, let's continue to talk about Micah and then wrap up the the Robbie Harvey channel continues to be one of the front runners with the information with Micah Miller. And Veronica Adams does a really good job too, as does that Shay Zone. There's a few others that I really like. JLR, of course, but yeah, those are kind of my mainstay, I think. So the sprinkler boy in the Micah Miller case getting the big money from the church. So I don't know how big of a check was written to him, but you guys know that the man who was there were 5 warrants for his arrest, and I think he finally was arrested, but I don't know if he spent a minute behind bars or not. I think he did, maybe a minute. But, he had received a large check from the church, and then the house that he lives in the property is owned by the Department of Transportation, I think. And then his car is owned by the church. So that man who's 67 years old, who said he was 81, and that he was afraid that if he went into the jail and had to spend the night there, that he might have a heart attack. And then the cop was like, oh, that's okay, dude. You can just come in whenever it's convenient for you. And then he told the people that he had assaulted with the hose, like, hey, well, if we took him in and he had a medical emergency, and then we'd have to take him to get medical care, and then that would take another officer off the streets, and we don't want that. Like, that is such baloney. Like, first of all, it doesn't necessarily take another officer off the streets, because normally in a situation like that, they would call an extra one in because one is taken off the streets. So then somebody would just get some overtime. That's how that would normally be handled. So that was just crazy. And you don't not arrest people because of crap like that. You do your job. You arrest people because there's an arrest warrant, or maybe not one, but 5. And the police were right there when it happened. I mean, they were witness to it, and they didn't arrest him on the spot. And the protesters made a really good point. Like, if they had done something like that, they certainly would have been arrested on the spot. Absolutely. Let's see. Fred, that was so nice. Dang it, Nancy. Cards that tell may do business with gringos, but they do not break tortillas with us. Live and mingle in homes is what I mean. Oh, that's funny. Oh, when you said like millions, you meant mingle. Live, where was that? Where'd it go? Where did that comment go, Annie Ruler? I lost it. That's weird. Oh, because I'm on top chat and I want to be in live chat. See, why does it always do that? It always defaults to top chat. Don't you guys hate that? Super annoying. Let's see. This one. Kylie applied for independence, slapped to mom, but could get grants on her own. We lived with 20 millionaire nice life, but no free college for my kids. Maybe emancipation was for that. So, is that what you meant? Instead of million, did you mean mingle? Did you get like spell checked there? I don't know. And you live in Cabo and San Felipe. Jazz, in the 90s, I lived with a hard worker, 20 million in 1999, only more now. Yes, I am still an heir. He gives, wow, woman, you're loaded. I knew that you were comfortable. I didn't know you were that comfortable. That's almost uncomfortable, especially in Mexico. I'd be so scared. Um, I would be scared. I don't know. I had family that lived down there in Mexico City. He gives me cash still. White dude. Okay. All right. So let's see. Sprinkler Boy. I didn't get to finish my thought with all that. The money from the church was allegedly to pay for his medical bills because he'd been in a bad car accident and he was too confused to have health insurance or car insurance or something. That's what he claims, is like he's too feeble and old to know how to take care of himself. And so the church wrote him a check for a giant sum of money. That just sounds crazy to me. Like, I don't believe that. I think that Sprinkler Boy lied about his age to a cop. I think that Sprinkler Boy is a wuss and he's willing to say or do anything. He has no integrity whatsoever. So he's just like, oh, I'm too confused to have insurance. He probably was written a check for a huge amount of money from the church for no good logical reason. And so that's just the story. And maybe he was conveniently in a car accident around that time so he could use that as his scapegoat, as his excuse, right? So yeah. Oh, Taylor Casey is also an Air Force vet, you guys. She served our country in the armed services for the Air Force. So they really need to get on top of this situation. I mean, they should anyway, but especially her with vet status. Like, where's law enforcement in all of this? They need to figure out what happened to her. Even if she did go for a swim and drowned, or she wandered off and tripped and fell and overreacted and passed away, like Gabby Petito, right? Didn't she like trip and fall and overreact and pass away? Wasn't that the story? That was the story that Brian Laundrie used of why he unalived her, was because she tripped and fell and was so badly injured. It was a mercy thing, right? Oh my goodness, these people. These people. So yeah, I'm glad I saw that note. I forgot about that she'd served in the Air Force. And let's see. JP and Sprinkler Boy's lawyer, Russell B. Long. His brother was arrested. I went over this a couple days ago, but I want to remind everybody, or maybe some people missed it. His brother was arrested for indecent exposure, standing in front of a sliding glass door, purposely exposing his nudity to two women that were 18 and 12 years old. Wait, a 12-year-old isn't a woman, but that's what it said in the report. Two women, 18 and 12 years old. Oh my goodness. The effery, the gaslighting. So that's whose father was a judge in the 70s or the 80s in Myrtle Beach. The father of the naked dude, the perv, and the lawyer for Sprinkler Boy and JP, Russell Long. His daddy was a judge. So JP having close people in his circle, lawyers, judges, law enforcement, not good. Not good at all. Let's see. What is Nico saying? You can be not arrested because that might make us short-staffed. Nico. I love your comment. Thank you for putting it so eloquently. I got to read that again. You can be not arrested because that might make us short-staffed. Yeah, I mean, making an arrest is a lot of work for the police officer. They've got a lot more paperwork, then they have to deal with transportation. It keeps them busy. It keeps them off the streets just to make an arrest. But if that's a problem, then you call in more. Oh man, just so stupid. Absolutely so stupid. So that's a perfect comment to wrap up on, you guys. You can be not arrested because that might make us short-staffed. Thanks, Nico. You're too funny. So thanks so much for being here, you guys. And Annie says, and not have to clean this jail, save time and money. There you go, Annie Ruler. Yeah. Yeah. Like, then it just makes people have to work. And why would you want that when you could not work? Anyway, so have a lovely evening, and it's the top of the week. I hope that it's the beginning of a productive and relaxing week for everybody here. Dang it, Nancy says, gotcha. My husband's family has a corn tortilla factory in Mexico. Good, honest work ethics and very family oriented. Yeah, very cool. That's awesome. Oh man, homemade tortillas are so good when people just like pound them out like fresh. There's nothing like it. Like the tortillas that we're used to, no. The handmade, I don't even like corn tortillas really, but I do when they're handmade. I like flour tortillas mostly. Anyway, take really good care of yourselves. Drink your water, eat your protein, eat your veggies, and get some exercise. Stay cool. Keep your feet up. And what else? Kindness. Kindness is huge. And keeping hope. It's really important to keep hope alive, huh? It was rough for me over the weekend, but you know, like I said, I always try to look at the bright side. And I thought the gem in all of this is that it might discourage some law enforcement from bearing some evidence in another case, but probably not. Let's be real. It's good to keep your feet on the ground. It's good to be optimistic, but it's also good to be realistic, right? So peace and blessings. Ooh, Annie Ruler makes her own corn tortillas. I'm so jealous. Give us the recipe, Annie. So light and love, you guys. Thanks a million for being here and watching. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on your way out if you haven't already. Have a great night. See you soon.